Weekday families, first, just to let you know that this video is for the families who are new this year to our Weekday program. So if you are returning from last year, please watch the video for our returning families. So first of all, welcome. We're so happy to know that you chose us to send your child to school. I know it's been a difficult decision for everyone in this unsettling time, but please know that much prayer and discussion has happened on our end. We are committed to providing a fun but safe environment for your child to learn and grow in. We are planning to keep open as long as the governor does not shut us down and as long as we keep COVID out. So we're planning to be open even if Fayette County goes to red. However, we will be assessing the situation and making decisions best for us as we go along. Before I begin talking about policies and procedures, I want to first introduce my assistant, Miss Dana Force. She's my right hand, the person you will be interacting with most of the time. She collects tuition and fees and keeps the immunization records up to date. She can answer any of your questions and is always willing to help you if you have any trouble contacting me. So we're both here available, but I wanted to give you the opportunity to meet her.
Hi everyone, it's a pleasure to meet you. Please feel free to call and ask me any questions at any times concerning your bills or receipts, or if you just need general information. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Miss Dana. And I want to just share a little bit about me. I know all of you have met me, but some of you may not know that I have been a director here at Fayetteville First Baptist for 5 years. I've been in education for over 25 years, and I've worked with babies, threes. I've taught pre-K, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, and fourth grade. I've been a director at a Weekday at another church for 6 years. And before I worked in education, I was also a registered nurse, working as a charge nurse on an obstetrics floor in a local hospital. So my love of working with kids and working with them each day has been my blessed calling that I love to do. So let's begin by going through the handbook, which you will receive a copy of in your child's folder that first day. And then if you have any questions, you're always welcome to call me and ask, and I'll be more than willing to answer. First of all, dress. So we talk about dress. Dress your child for fun. They're going to be painting, they're going to be coloring, they're going to be playing outside. So be sure you dress for activities and for weather. And be sure to label, once we get into colder weather, be sure to label all jackets and sweaters. We're going to ask you to keep a change of clothes in here at the school. So that first day, be sure you bring in a change of clothes in a Ziploc bag that's labeled with your child's name on it, and we will keep it here at the school. No need to buy any supplies. We will provide everything your child needs for the whole year. Normally, I would provide a book bag for your child and ask them to bring it to school each day, but because of COVID, we've opted this year to have no book bags brought in except those in our kindergarten class. So kindergartners will be receiving their book bag at orientation. And then the rest of you, we will not use book bags until later. Hopefully later in the year we can change that. If your child is in our babies class, you will provide your own bag, though, for them with your baby food, pacifiers, sippy cups, and diapers. For those in ones and twos that bring in sippy cups and diapers, if you'll just put those in a little plastic bag and provide those for the teacher, she'll keep those here and then ask when we need to refill the diapers. And then make sure names are on everything. We do tend to get them confused sometimes if they're not labeled well. So please be sure to do that. If your child is staying for lunch bunch, remember to send in a lunch that is nut-free for that day. Potty training. All children in our 3s and 4s and kindergarten classes must be potty trained. So if your child is having a problem with that and they are in one of those classes, be sure to talk to myself or the teacher at orientation. 1s and 2s, once your child starts potty training, be sure to let your teacher know so that she can continue helping with that at school. We do have a nut-free policy here at the preschool. So we ask that all snacks, lunches, and foods for parties be sent in are nut-free. That means they have no nuts in them, and they're labeled safe, meaning they are not made in a facility that produces anything with nuts in it. So be sure you read the back of the packages of anything you send in. I also attach a safe snack list that will go home, and you can use this to just, all of these snacks are safe, and that you can purchase these for the snacks for your classroom. And your teacher will explain how she does snack time each day at orientation. Also, due to COVID, only unopened prepackaged food is allowed. So please make sure that what you purchase is already closed up, nothing homemade or bought like that's already opened. We have a latex and insect policy, so be sure that you do not send anything in with that has latex balloons or latex gloves on the floor. And if your child has a allergy, please let Miss Dana, myself know, and your teacher know, so that we all know what the allergy is. And if your child has an EpiPen, I'm going to ask that you fill out one of these forms, and you will receive that at orientation. But please let your teacher know if your child does have an EpiPen. Tuition is due at the first of the month and is considered to be late after the 15th. There is a $5 charge added for late payments, and you will receive an envelope each month from Miss Dana with the amount due and any additional charges such as lunch, bunch, etc. So you can pay for one full year, or you can pay in the 10 monthly payments. And tuition is due even if your child is sick or on vacation in order to remain enrolled. Just know, people always ask, August and December are 2 months that we're not here every day while we pay the full amount. But just understand that we have a total cost for the year that we divide into 10 equal months. So in months like December and August, you aren't paying for days your child doesn't come. You're paying just the same price each month. So there are 3 ways to pay. You can pay by cash or check. In the envelope you will receive at the beginning of each month. So just if you have a cash or check, put it in the envelope, return it back in your child's folder. Make checks payable to FFBC. If you have more than one child in the program, you can just write one check. You can also pay online through our website, and how to do, and that is through a debit card only. And so if you'd like to do that, follow the instructions that will be in your handbook. The biggest thing to know is if you do pay online, please be sure to let Miss Dana know that you've done that by writing on the envelope the receipt confirmation number and returning that the next day. You can also email Miss Dana if you have any problems, and her email address is in the handbook. So there also is a one-time activity fee of $30 due at the beginning of school for all preschool classes. And Miss Dana will put that on your first month's tuition envelope, and you will see that as a separate charge, and then she'll add that up and give you a total cost for the month. All our activities will look a little bit different this year. Even though parents aren't allowed to come in, we will be doing many activities throughout the year in class, and we'll be explaining how we're doing that as we go along. Lunch Bunch is already part of our Babies and Ones program. So you'll just, if your child's in our Babies or Ones, just send in a lunch each day, and you are automatically staying till 1 o'clock. But everyone else, our 2s, 3s, 4s, and kindergarten classes, Lunch Bunch is optional. So if you're in our 2s, 3s, and 4s classes, you have the option to stay from 12 to 1. In our kindergarten class from 12:30 to 1 o'clock. It is a drop-in, no prior registration is needed. You'll just need to remember to send in a lunch those days that your child is staying, and that's how we know that they are staying. And do make sure it is a nut-free lunch. If your child likes peanut butter, on my snack list, I list 2 options that are for an alternate for peanut butter, and it's Wow Butter or a Sun Butter, I believe is what it's called. And then Lunch Bunch, remind you, will not be that first week of school, because we need to make sure that we are prepared and have all our COVID accommodations in place. So we're going to send home a survey the first week to kind of get an idea of who is planning on staying for lunch bunch. And then when you do stay for lunch bunch during the month, Miss Dana will keep track of it, and then she will charge you the following month. So you do not send in money each day for lunch bunch. You wait until it shows up on your tuition envelope. Registration fees. If you have not paid your registration fee, Miss Dana will be getting in contact with you about that so that we can get that paid before school starts. I know we let some people throughout the summer waive those for a little while till we made sure we were going to open. Withdrawing from the program. Should you find it necessary to pull your child from the program during the year, we request a 2-week notice, and payment will be expected for those 2 weeks. So payment would be then half of that month's tuition. School security and emergency situations. So know that the doors to the buildings are always locked at all times and only accessible by our teachers and our staff. So our teachers and our staff are trained in emergency procedures. And then in the event, if something was to occur, we had a fire or tornado, then you would be contacted that day. We do fire drills and tornado drills throughout the year to keep our children safe. For up-to-date information, be sure to check out our Facebook page and stay alert to texts from your teachers. So due to COVID, no one except the children and the teachers are going to be allowed into the building. So if a child has to go home early or get sick, we're going to ask that you just come in and ring the bell, and then we will come to you. We're going to keep you there, and we'll bring the child to you. We do require regular background checks on all our workers, including substitutes, and we require CPR training for all our employees. We have to be able to contact you at all times, so please notify the school with any changes, to your address, your phone number as soon as possible. And do not hesitate to make the school aware if there's any custody concerns or custody situations that may arrive during the year. Children will be released each day only to those who have dismissal cards displayed hanging from your rear view mirror each day. We will give you the cards at orientation, and then starting the first day you need to display those hanging from your mirrors. So we will only dismiss those children to the vehicles that have those cards. So if you do not have your card when you pick up your child, we're going to ask for driver's license and make sure you're on the pickup card that we have. And that is a lot of times dads will show up and we're not sure who you are, so don't be surprised if we ask to know who you are and see your driver's license. And I'm going to ask that you bring your dismissal cards to drop off for that first few mornings so that we know who the child is as we're getting to know you, who are our new families. Inclement weather. In case of inclement weather, when we get into our cold weather months, we will close if Fayette County schools close due to inclement weather. If they are delayed, we will be closed due to our half-day schedule. If they close due to a problem with their schools, we will notify everyone as to whether or not we will close. And again, if Fayette County goes to red, all virtual, we plan at this time to remain open. Facebook, we do have a Facebook page, so I hope you'll go on and find us and ask to join. Miss Sharon, one of our teachers, runs that page, and she will be glad to add you to our list. But we like to put our children on that page to show you kind of what's going on in the classroom. We never put any children's names, and we never allow the children to be posted to anything other than that particular page. However, if you do not want your child posted to our Facebook page strictly for Weekday, then let us know. There will be a paper in the orientation package. Just fill that out to say that you do not want your child's picture placed on that Facebook page. Moving along, our carpool time. So let me go over carpool because it can be a little confusing, and I do have it in our handbook. So if you forget all that I say, just feel free to go back and reread that and ask your teachers. So drop off in the morning for our 1s through our kindergarten classes. So enter from Highway 54. Do not enter from the back of the church. And I'm going to ask that you not enter before your official start time. So kindergartners can enter the carpool beginning at 8:20, and then we are moving to the classroom at 8:30, 8:35. So it's important that you are there on time so you're not late to your class. Our 1s through our 4s classes can enter the carpool line beginning at 8:45. You'll see all the teachers and myself and Miss Dana come out to receive the children. Then you may enter on that front driveway in front of the preschool. Make sure your carpool sign is hanging from the mirror. We're asking that you do not get out of the car. Miss Dana and myself will come to your car and take your child's temperature, and then we'll ask if you've had any signs or symptoms of illness. If the temperature is below 100.4, then a teacher will take your child out of the car and escort him or her to the classroom. Again, parents, please stay in your car during this whole process. If you arrive after the teachers have gone in at 9 o'clock, you may park in the driveway and bring your child to the door where a teacher will come and escort your child to the classroom. But no one other than the child and the teachers will be allowed into the building. So that's drop off for our 1s through our kindergarten classes. For our drop off for our babies class, you will be coming in the back and you will be walking or carrying your child into the classroom. So we will be talking to you directly about how that process will take place. Pickup time. So there are different pickup times for different classes and different events. So first of all, pickup time for our 2s through our 4s classes who are not staying for lunch bunch. You will be picked up at 12 o'clock. If you are in our 2s classes and our 4s classes and your child is not going to lunch bunch, you will pick them up at 12 in the back under the portico. And then our 3s classes, both our 3s classes will be picked up in the front. Please, again, stay in your car. Do not get out. The teacher's going to bring your child to you, and she's going to put them in your car, but she cannot buckle them in. So once the child is in the car, then you can drive forward to a parking spot to buckle them in. But do not buckle. We ask that you do not buckle them in while in the carpool line. That way we can move the line on. You won't have far to go. You're just going to go a little bit farther into a parking space, park, and you will buckle them in. Be sure to have your carpool sign hanging from the rearview mirror every day so that we can see it, because if it's not there, then we're going to have to pull you to the side and ask for driver's license. A late fee of $1 per minute will be charged for those arriving after 1:10. But if you're going to be late, just text myself or your teacher and let us know, because I know certain things happen and we try to give you some grace for those events. So then pick up for kindergarten, not staying for lunch bunch. If you're in the kindergarten class and you're not staying for lunch bunch, you're going to be picked up at 12:30 in the front. So please, again, stay in your car. The teacher will bring the child to you. She will put them in the car, but she will not buckle them in. And then you will just pull forward to a parking space to buckle your child in. Please be sure, again, display your carpool sign every day. No matter what, even as we get to know you, it just helps us to see from a distance who is pulling into the parking lot, and we can have your child ready to be put into the car. Again, a late fee will be charged if you arrive after 12:40. Okay, so lunch bunch, for those staying for lunch bunch. If you are in our 2s through our kindergarten class staying for lunch bunch, it is at 1 o'clock in the front. Again, same procedure. Stay in your car. Do not exit your car. We bring the child to you, put them in the car. You drive forward to a parking spot where you can buckle them in. Make sure you have your carpool sign, again, hanging from your mirror. And a late fee is charged if you're arriving after 1:10. Now, our 1s class, they automatically stay to 1. There's not a lunch bunch for them. It's built into their day. So they will be dismissed at 1 o'clock. You will pick them up in the back under the portico. And this is a little bit different. Miss Diana will bring your child to you. You will then get out of your car in the carpool line. You're the only ones allowed to do that. And you will buckle your child in there since they're a little bit younger. Late fee, again, is assessed after 1:10. So a couple of things. If you're picking up more than one child, then know that all of those children will be picked up at the place for the youngest child, the designated spot for that youngest child in your group. So please discuss that with your teachers at orientation if you are picking up more than one child. If it's raining, if it may rain, or if it's extremely cold, carpool may be changed at the discretion of myself. So I try to make that decision as quickly as possible according to whether we can get it carpool done on a normal time and a normal schedule. If it's raining, it's easier for us to do it a little bit differently so that we can keep the child under covered areas. So if I'm changing carpool because of those situations, you will see a sign out directing you to the new location. If there is no sign out, then follow the normal procedure. All right, so immunizations. Let's talk about immunizations, and then we'll finish up with our COVID requirements that we have put in place. So immunizations, Ms. Dana is going to be asking immunization records from everyone be updated. If she needs your immunization records, she'll be contacting you about that. Make sure we get all of those updated the first week of school, because a child cannot remain enrolled without a current form on file, because the health department does check our records throughout the year. So health guidelines, we normally use the American Academy of Pediatric guidelines. So for normal, our regular sicknesses, you're going to keep them at home for fever. Currently, no fever for 24 hours without medication. Vomiting and diarrhea, they have to be all that free for 24 hours. Any symptoms of any of the regular childhood diseases, let me know, because that will be diagnosed by a doctor. Common cold, they need to really stay home until everything's clear and the symptoms are gone, because they usually don't feel well during that time. Persistent cough, definitely. Runny nose or yellow-green discharge, ear pain, croup, rash or skin infections, pink eye, or head lice. They really need to be seen by a doctor before they return. So to keep COVID out, we have put in several protocols to keep our children safe. So I'm going to go over those. We'll finish up with those protocols to let you know what all we've been doing or we are doing throughout the year. So arrival, as I've already stated, Miss Dana and I will be coming out and doing temperature checks, and we'll be doing assessments before they can enter. They have to have under 100.4 temperature and no symptoms of illness. Teachers will be wearing masks and will be sanitizing between each child. What I'm going to ask is that you please be patient as we're putting these new protocols in place, because we're trying to get all this done in a timely manner, but we need to make sure we do it correctly. So give us some grace, we ask, as we kind of get things going right up at the beginning. If a child has to go home early because none of the adults are allowed in the building, please come to the door, ring the bell, and we'll ask you to stand there while we get your child. So once inside the classroom, the children will stay there for the morning, except to go to the playground or outside for projects. And we do plan on taking the children outside daily. If weather is not permitting, then we will have another room prepared for them to play. Classes will not be allowed to interact with each other during the day to keep them safe. We want to just each class to be its own little family. So children will be given many activities. They will be busy. They will be doing lots of things in the classroom. They just won't be interacting with the other classes. Teachers will be wiping down doorknobs, tables, toys, and other areas touched by the children throughout the morning. Children will be asked to wash their hands before eating, after using the bathroom, and after being outside the room. And rooms are going to be fumigated by the maintenance staff each day after we've all left. Mr. Jimmy is our maintenance supervisor. You'll see this letter go home at orientation. He's going to explain what he and his staff will be doing to keep our children safe and to keep the rooms clean, and he's explained what he's using and how they are doing that. So you can look for that. Small toys will be sterilized at the end of each day as well throughout the day. So teachers will be wearing masks at all times, except when they're in the classroom with their own students and with their coworker. While children are not required to wear masks, you are welcome to send your child in a mask if you prefer that. We have no problems with that. So what happens if we do get a diagnosis of COVID? Should a teacher or a child, first of all, experience symptoms of COVID, then I'm going to ask that you see a doctor and be cleared by your doctor. You'll need a doctor's excuse to return. If a diagnosis of COVID is received, then you'll be required to stay home 10 days or until you're cleared by a medical doctor. And those who are knowingly exposed to anyone with COVID will be asked to quarantine for a period of 14 days. The Department of Health Services will be contacted should a diagnosis be received by anyone in our weekday program. So we're going to do everything we can to keep your children safe, and also God is protecting us, so we're praying that He keeps COVID completely out of our program. And I have talked to another program in the area that has been open since May, and they've had none children come down with COVID. So that's encouraging, and for us to see that it is possible that we can go without any diagnosis of COVID. So last things, you will receive you have a calendar you should have already received over the summer. If you did not, then please see your teacher. Things will look a little bit different. While we normally have like Grandparents' Day and Fall Fun Day, we're going to be doing some activities in-house with those things. We just won't be allowed to have parents come in. So I'm going to work on trying to videotape some things that we do, and so you can still see what we're doing, and the children are still having some fun and some fun things to do in the classroom. I hope that's answered most of your questions, but if you have more, please don't hesitate to call myself or Miss Dana and ask your teachers at orientation. And we look forward to a great year. We're hoping things are only going to get better throughout the year, and that we're going to have a wonderful, wonderful time. So thank you, and we look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks.